Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hopefully, everyone had a great week. I took a couple days off after our 12-hour stream last week that we finished up our shiny hunting challenge in. So today, we're going to make a tier list. Today is going to be normal types in Classic. So I actually have a tier list made. So today's just going to kind of be my reveal of all of that. Some discussion with you guys. I'm sure you guys will yell at me for why you think it's wrong. And then I have some notes as well. That's going to be about this. Going into it, a couple things I should note. If the Pokemon's final form does not have more normal type in it, we're not going to do it. So things like Azurill, Fletchling, and Swablu, we're not going to be going over today. Those will be in like the Flying and Dragon and Fire and Water Fairy ones. Yeah. That's going to be about it. We're going to be going over the base Pokemon, so we're not going to put any of the starters on there, but I'll make notes based off of mostly like what the final evolution is going to be like. Yeah, oh, Splitter, what's going on? Yep, Eevee's going to be on there, Flame. Eevee will be on there because you can do partner Eevee with Gmax form. So S tier is going to be like cream of the crop. D tier is going to be, I really don't recommend using this, / I think it's useless. C is like, this is very run-of-the-mill, below average. B is going to be our average. A is going to be our above average. And then again, S is going to be your typical S tier. Hisuiizor, yes. Yep, because that's a normal ghost type, right? Zorba. Yep, normal ghost type. Yep, it'll be on there. So as long as they have some normal typing in their final evolution, or in the case of Eevee with Partner and Gmax, we'll go ahead and use it. We're just going to go straight down the list. I'll be referring back to Pokerogue as well. So some of the notes I'll be making, we're just going to be going into the Pokedex and going over things there as needed, or if you guys have any questions. Let's get started with it. So first one's obviously going to be Pidgey, seeing as it's first up. I have Pidgey in the high C tier. It's got pretty mediocre stats, and the reason for that is if you go into this, those aren't great stats in general. Like, not at all. It's got good speed, but the rest of it's pretty meh. You kind of need the Mega form to really have something going with it. And, like, its Mega form is really good. No Guard and Sheer Force puts out a ton of damage, but the fact that it needs Mega puts it fairly low for me. One of its saving graces is the fact that it does get Boom Burst and can set itself up, which is really nice. But outside of that, it's, like, you need the Mega for it. So it's not one I typically recommend starting with, especially because of how frail it is. Like, look at those defensive stats. They're not great, and it's not going to be one-shotting a lot of things. Boom Burst can for a while, but that's its Rare Egg move. So I have it at high C for now. It probably moves up to B or even A- if you get the Mega. I just don't think that's reasonable to hit consistently. Yeah. So next up, we have Rattata. I really don't like the Rattatas. I think they are borderline useless. Oh, so these tiers are going to be roughly ordered. Just as a heads up. So I actually have both Rattatas at the bottom of C tier. They're not as bad as some of the ones that are in C tier, but... Setup moves are really, really good in Classic mode, though. just in general, because of the way some boss mechanics work, like the health bars. But if you don't set up with Pidgey, you're not going to be one-shotting any of the major threats. Pidgeot. Maybe you could one-shot some of the frailer boss threats with Mega. It's just not going to happen, though, with normal Pidgey. Probably. Also, I think it's Sheer Force and Super Luck Splitter, not Sheer Luck. Be a cool ability, though. Yeah, so for the Rattatas, again, they have very mediocre stats, to put it nicely. Even if we go to, like, okay speed, okay attack, but the rest of it's not great. It does get decent coverage here. Like Psychic Fang, Fire Fang, Extreme Speed's a great move, but you're not getting the stab on Psychic Fang or Fire Fang, and you really need Guts to even put out even a respectable amount of damage. I've just never really been able to make these work. Even when I pick them up in my Classic run, they feel like more of a liability than anything. It can get Swords Dance, which is definitely a bonus, because again, setup moves are really good, and then you can get like Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, and Extreme Speed. But if you're getting that setup, like, you have other things, even within normal types, that can use that way better. I don't believe it gets, oops, wrong button. I don't even think it gets it. Yeah, it doesn't even get it, Swords Dance through, egg moves or level up, so you have to find a TM for it. The Rattatas just aren't great. Again, Gut Strongjaw can put out some damage, but and since you don't even get pickup, it's just like, don't use them if you can help it, would be kind of my thing to go to. They don't have a G-Max form, they don't have a Mega, nothing to really boost their damage all that much. Spearow is one that is pretty interesting for me. I actually have it in B tier. And the reason for that is because you don't have to get a setup move to let it set up. I mean, if it actually works for you, Splitter, go for it, but I can't make it work, man. I mean, I'm sure it can, but it just seems like there's a lot of better options. Yeah, Spearow works really well because of the Moxie passive. You just can set up without having to set up. Sniper's also a pretty great ability. And its speed can pretty much help you take advantage of the increased attack stat. You'd like to have a little bit more. So if you don't have the passive of Moxie, I think that this is not a good Pokemon, and I'd probably put it down in, like, C. But with Moxie, I'm pretty okay with this. Plus, its egg moves, like, Floaty Fall is really good. Hyper Drill, you get Stab on, and it goes through Protect. Not that it's a huge deal in Classic mode. I put him in chat earlier, Flame. Tidy Up can help you fix the speed issue. And it gives you a little bit of a boost in both attack and speed, which is really nice. But just the 2 stab egg moves that are both really strong, and then triple arrows for some coverage to hit like steel and rock types that are going to resist you anyway. I think with Moxie, this could actually be reasonably strong. And again, it gets speed boosting. So that's why I have it in B. I did not expect to put it that high, but when I was looking into it more and more, I'm like, you know what? This actually has some potential. I don't think it's going to be able to get you through the entire Classic mode on its own. Maybe if you get lucky with, like, Sludge Event and a couple other things, you definitely could. But with Moxie, I wouldn't sleep on this thing. I do value offense and setup a little bit more than defensive wallers, just because of the way Pokerogue works. I'll put that out there now. But I think with what Spearow has available to it, I think solid B is where it's going to end up. Next up, we got Meowth. And I have Meowth in the low end of B. And it might actually go a little bit lower, but I think it's not really there for its offensive pressure, but it does allow you to do some really cool things. Let's drop it in here real quick. So it's got really good utility. It gets pickup, it gets payday, it gets fake out. And then another thing that's actually really helpful that I really enjoy having on the Pokemon are moves like, where is it? Yeah, Covet, Knockoff, and Thief. Not only can you steal some items from Pokemon when you're battling them in the wild, if they have ones you really want, but some events in Classic Mode let you bypass a fight and give you an extra option to just take an item. The Snorlax event, if you have Thief or Knockoff, I think you can just take the leftovers. And there's a couple other events as well that just let you take the items for free. And you can get some really powerful items without having to risk your Pokemon if you're struggling a little bit. So the fact that Meowth gets these, especially Covet, because it gets Stab on it as well, can make it a really strong utility mon. And then after it levels up, like Technician's fine, and Nerve can be really strong, but you're not really going to be using it as a damage dealer. But you can also get Thunder Wave, you'll still have Fake Out, so it can be a really good supporting mon and a disruptor for your opponents. Especially if you have, like, lures in there a lot and you're doing double battles, it can be a decent support Pokemon to have alongside. It gets a pretty decent move pool, and it can set up as either physical or special attacking. It gets Nasty Plot and Swords Dance, either through level up or TMs. Its attack stats aren't out of this world, but the 115 speed means if you can get it set up, it's got a reasonable chance to outspeed and hit fairly hard, especially with its coverage. It can get like Power Gem, and then there's just a whole mess of coverage moves in here. Dark Pulse, yeah, even like Gunk Shot if you want to do that. Hyper Voice is a good spread move. Gets a whole ton of coverage. And with the setup moves, you can make it work. I wouldn't recommend you using it as a solo mon. Again, it does have a G-Max form, which, okay, it's fast, hits hard, decent HP. Abilities are pretty decent, so you might be able to do something with that. But again, you gotta rely on getting the Dynamax Band and then also G-Max Mushrooms. But all those reasons are why I have it in like the lower part of B instead of C. It definitely has some utility, and the payday early on can help you get some money if you're struggling a little bit. Next up, we have Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd is another interesting one. It's one I have in B- as well. Like a little bit lower. Where exactly do I have it? Where is it? Sorry, I'm looking at the list I already made. I know I have it in B-. Why can't I find it? Did I move it down for some reason? I have it in B-. You know, I'm actually going to move Meowth down a little bit. I think Pidgey's better than it. We might move Farfetch'd a little bit. I'm like re-looking at this a little bit. But one nice thing about Farfetch'd is it has an absolutely ridiculous amount of coverage. It can learn so many coverage moves. If we look at... Oh, its base stats are what hold it back. Like, that's what it is right there. This 60 speed, even if it gets set up with, like, its 90 base attack, which is fine. It's pretty good. But, like, Ivy Cudgel, Triple Arrows, Drill Run, and it can set itself up with Victory Dance. Really good coverage, and then level moves, again, it gets the knockoff, it gets Swords Dance. Air Slash isn't a huge deal because it's a special move, but Leaf Blade, Brave Bird, and then its TM moves are even just more coverage. And that's one reason it can be really good. You can kind of get it to cover for almost anything you're having an issue with. But again, it goes back to the 60 base speed is just too low, and it's a little too frail to really get the setup with Tidy Up off quite a bit. And actually, I'm going to drop it down to there. Yeah. I think Pidgey's speed saves it more than Farfetch'd, even though Farfetch'd has better attacking coverage. I think the Pidgey speed is there. You could probably definitely make Farfetch'd work, especially if you get some Quick Claws. The fact it gets access to Swords Dance is really nice. One of the best, if not the best, physical setup move outside of maybe Victory Dance, Dragon Dance, stuff like that. Defiant is too inconsistent to use, and so are these two. The passive is really nice. You get crits more consistently on your spread, on your super effective moves, but it comes back to the base stats are just a little too low to make a huge amount of work out of it. Next up is Doduo. So Doduo is actually one I am very high on. I have it in A tier, and the big reason for that is this right here. Parental Bond. Oops. Parental Bond is such a good ability. It is so ridiculously good. It's Mega Kangaskhan's ability. More Pokemon and Pokérogue have it. But it's so good. There's so many ways you can break it, especially in Pokérogue. And then you get into something like Dodrio. It's got good speed at 110, good attack at 110, so you can take advantage of those. Its abilities aren't great, but its passive kind of makes up for that. And if you get something like the Clown event, you can really, really take advantage of its bad abilities, just replace it with something good. Its egg moves, Triple Axle, really good. Ice, like Triple Axle is one of the best moves in Classic. Just because of how much coverage it has, it is really one of the best moves in Classic. It gets Floaty Fall and Hyper Drill, just like Spearow does. So you get the same stab, because it's also got the normal flying type. And then Triple Arrows as well, just like for Spearow. It hits the ground and steel types that'll resist you. Triple Axle is the one that's really going to make the difference. You put a Wide Lens or two on it, you're great. And then Floaty Fall and Triple Arrows are a little bit different because, like for Doduo and Dodrio than Fearow, because of that Parental Bond, they'll each hit again. So you have an additional chance to flinch and an additional chance to crit or lower the defense stat. I think with this coverage and Parental Bond, you will be in a very good shape, and you could probably make Doduo work very, very well. It also gets... Where is it? Swords Dance. Through level up. You don't even need to find a TM for it, and that consistency is huge. Like, that consistency for being able to set up easily, and then have the speed to take advantage of that boosted attack. It's... Yep, I think it's pretty major. Anyway, that's why I have Doduo up in A tier. Next up is Lickitung. Lickitung's weird. I'm going to have it in C tier again. But I'm going to have it in, like, somewhat high C tier. The reason Lickitung's weird, even with Licky Licky, oops, is like, those are fairly decent stats. It's pretty bulky overall. It's got okay attack and special attack. If you wanted to, you could even run like an Eviolite for some reason. But again, it's one of those bulky mons that doesn't put out a ton of offensive pressure. It does get access to Belly Drum and Swords Dance, so it could definitely set itself up. Its abilities aren't great, but Cheek Pouch can be very strong if you want to go for like a very bulky mon that sets up its own Belly Drum to output offensive pressure. The egg moves are good. You have Slack Off to get it back. Magical Torque is very good coverage. Crush Grip is a little inconsistent, but at least it's strong stab. One of the biggest things I wish it had, though, was something like Extreme Speed, and it just doesn't get it, I believe. Yeah. If it had Extreme Speed, this would probably move up quite a bit. But as it is now, like, Fire Lash can burn, making you even more physically bulky. Magical Torque can confuse, but I just don't think it does enough offensive pressure. And that's a big deal, especially in boss fights, because you'll lower the boss Pokemon to like their first or their second health bar, and then all of their berries will trigger, which will boost all of their stats, and then your defensive stats aren't nearly as valuable because they just have so many extra stats to punch through all this. You can make it work. There's some cool stuff that Lickitung can do, and I definitely was able to make it work a little bit when I was farming candies for it. But without great abilities and consistent enough setup, like, yeah, you can do Swords Dance, but you don't have a ton to take advantage of that, like super strong moves, especially stab moves. It's not great. You could try to make it into a bulky... That's alright, Kaskin. What's going on? You can try to make it into like a bulky kind of status mon. You give it like Body Slam, some bulky stuff. I believe it learns Thunderwave. No, it doesn't. It doesn't even get Thunderwave, so yeah, even that's it. Yeah, you get Stab, Body Slam. So you can set it up Heihan. But for those reasons, just a little bit, we're a little bit into the list. We just put Lickitung in. Yeah, for those reasons, I have it in high C tier. Again, I am valuing offensive pressure a little bit more, just because of the way it gets. Been fucking with Pokevoid? I don't actually know what Pokevoid is, Kaskin. So yeah. Now we get to Kangaskhan. Most of you probably know what's coming. It's going to be our first S tier. And we'll kind of go over why. Also, I need like an extra screen. Oh, modded Pokerogue? Got it. We can have that debate when we get to Zangoose, Kaskin. Yeah. Well, first of all, those alone are very solid stats out of the gate. Like, even without talking about the Mega. Like, those are just well-spread stats. Its lowest one is the ones you don't care about. Oops. But then you get to this, and it's just, like, even better. Parental Bond is busted. We talked about it with Doduo. We get it busted. And then it also gets Technician as a passive with Parental Bond. Why? It's so good. Plus you add in the fact, where is it? It can learn Power Up Punch through Egg Move and not even its rare Egg Move? Hey, Sudoku. Floaty, Fall, and Triple Arrows are the main two, Sudoku. It also gets, the fighting type move that has a higher chance for crit and lowers defense. Yeah, and Covet's great. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Trailblaze, hitting twice, lets you boost your speed twice. Yeah, oh, Lalo, how you been, man? But, I mean, it's just Technician plus Parental Bond, these egg moves And then it also gets Sucker Punch after you set up a little bit if you want. It's just, there's so many cool things you can do with this. Plus great stats. It's just solid. That's why we have it in S tier. It's not going to be at the top of S tier. Yep, exactly. Yep. Been good, man. We've been busy. I finally got a shiny for every Pokemon in the game, so I'm revealing my first tier list today. Yeah, that's why we have that there. You're here to help? Yeah. Well, next up, we're going to move on to Tauros. And I have Tauros in B tier. Intimidate is obviously busted. So I'm seeing exactly... Intimidate is busted. Like, that's really good. It has good stats, just kind of out of the gate. They aren't, like, ridiculously bonkers, but that speed, that attack... The HP is not great, but 95 defense is fairly solid. Yeah, we have Weirdeer in here. Yeah, Weirdeer's in there. And this is just... This is a normal type tier list flame, so this is just Kanto Tauros for now. Yeah, again, it's got solid stats. Slow special attack doesn't really matter. Intimidate's huge, and then Stamina can make it even more bulky. Like, this can be a pretty good physically bulky mod if you want. If you don't want to go with Intimidate, you can gamble with Anger Point a little bit, or just Sheer Force if you just want to put out damage. I think Intimidate is the best. If you do go Sheer Force, though, you have Sword Stance to set yourself up, so you weaken them with their physical in this. I don't believe it gets Body Press. No, it doesn't. But it's still fairly bulky. Fire Lash, burn them, even more physical reduction. Wicked Torque, good coverage. And then Collision Course can just be super strong. The one thing about these egg moves is you don't have any stab in here. Like, they don't have any stab moves in the egg moves. But getting Sword Stance, which a setup move, which again, I value very highly in Classic, I think is really good. Yeah, its level ups are fine. There's nothing like Raging Bull is pretty good. But outside of that, there's nothing like super huge in here. And even its TM moves are a little limited. You get stuff like Body Slam, Close Combat, and this. But there's nothing in here that really makes me go, ooh, I want that. Like Iron Head, Earthquake are both good. But in general, I think it's just a solid mon. I imagine Wicked Torque uses it. It's a secondary effect. Yeah. Yeah. It has, like, it definitely has coverage. Unfortunately, you need to find TMs for it. But the fact it can set itself up, set Intimidate, fairly physically bulky. Yeah. I think it's a solid B+ tier. I think you could definitely probably give it a good use. Alright, this is the first one I'm going to be yelled at for. This is the first one I'm going to be yelled at for. It's A tier. It's A tier if you have Imposter. Because I think a lot of people sleep on Ditto. Especially if I have it above, like, Tauros. I think a lot... Like, I've talked to people about this. They do not understand why I like Ditto so much. They do not get it. Like, obviously you need imposter, but adaptability. When I was farming this, no, I'm not putting. We only have 5 in S tier, just as a heads up. Yep. This can be such an easy answer to some of the biggest fights in the game. 144, or 145, 195, and 200. Ditto can be absolutely outstanding. You time it right, bring it in, you now have adaptability Mega Rayquaza. Yep. Yep, I think if people don't, like, this is not probably going to be your solo carry, but if you use it in specific points, especially with how cheap it is, like, yeah, I have a couple cost reductions, but I think it's 2 at base. This can 100% be your answer for those fights. And then, like Haskin was saying, you get a couple powders on it, you're great. I have such a high opinion of this. Yep, exactly. Yep, the powders make it really, really good. Like, I have it in about the middle of my A tier, and I think it actually might go up higher. Well, I'll reevaluate after things are done, and after talking with you guys. But this is very much if you know when to use it, it's going to be outstanding. Don't use it if you don't have imposter. That's that. Yeah. All right. This one is a little not tough. It's a little interesting. It's Eevee. Eevee's S. And it's above Kangaskhan. So part of this is simply because of the flexibility that Eevee gives you. If you're not doing a monotype run, the flexibility to just kind of get it to evolve into what you need is outstanding. It can fill in so many roles, you can build it for so many different things. As Han was saying, adaptability is insane. It gets pickup as a passive, which can be really nice in the early game. And then it gets covet just out of the box. You don't need, like, adaptability covet can carry you for the first 10, 20 floors, maybe even longer without doing anything. Yeah. If you want to have partner, this is what it looks like, I believe. But, yo, Confin, how you been, man? Yeah, Boom Burst is really good. And then, so we obviously know about the evolutions. Those are great. But what I want to focus on is G-Max. This thing's great. That's insane. But then you go down, you look at the abilities. Protean and Fluffy. Like, Protean can really mess with AIs. It's really, really good. And then look at the coverage. Sizzly Slide, Buzzy Buzz, Batty. Like, you can get whatever you want on it, basically. You'll have coverage for everything. Even if you don't like G-Max, it's still like a solid thing you can use for a boost. And again, the Protean puts out huge amounts of damage. Pickup's great. Adaptability covet. The flexibility in evolving it. This gives you so many options. Yep. You can do kind of what they did back in, like, was it Sun and Moon, where you'd use the Z move and the baton pass into a Crocodile. Yeah, it's an incredibly versatile mon with Protean, which if you know how to use it, messes with the AI, but also gets pickup. Yeah. Yeah, it is an insanely flexible, but also strong Pokemon. Also, they're starting to mow, so let me go close my back door real quick. Yeah, it's so flexible. It's so strong. You can fit it into just about any team. And I think... Yeah, it's not even that expensive. It's, what, 3? Without their cost reductions? Something like that. Yeah, they get 3 without the cost reductions. Dog's doing great, Confin. I've been doing well. I've been doing a lot of Pokerogue. I've been doing Last Epoch. Running in a Racing Strike build. But she is currently passed out on the stairs, I think. But yeah, I'm doing my first tier list. But yeah. No, Eevee is super, super strong. How you been, Confin? Yeah, Eevee's super strong. Next up, we have Porygon. I don't know why Arceus is there. We actually don't need 2 Arceuses, so I'm just going to put it down here because we're not using them. Yep. Porygon's an S2. And it kind of goes for the same reason that Eevee is. Porygon 2, that is a bulk, like, that's a pretty bulky mon. Transistor's fine. But you can get download or analytic, you can put an Eviolite on it, that becomes a very, very bulky. I just didn't get rid of all of them. Like, I got this tier list from someone else. Like, I got this already on Tier List Maker. I didn't make this myself. So it's just going to be 1 in there, but I probably didn't remove all of the Arceuses. Been able to... that's too bad, man. That's good to see you, though. Yeah, Porygon can be really bulky. It's got solid stats, and then if you want more offense... 135 plus adaptability or download and Protean? Like, any of these are just huge damage boosts. I think it's 1 for every plate. Kaskin. Or 1 for most plates. Yeah, so you can keep it as defensive mon for as long as you want. It learns Recover. And then if you want, you can just make it into Porygon Z. You have 135 base attack, all of these multipliers. The analytics a little clunky to use, just because of the offensive pressure things can put out in Pokerogue. But it's got good coverage, the versatility. I mean, it gets Thunderclap or Fierce Flame. Like, look at these egg moves. They're actually ridiculously good. Even if you don't have it as an egg move, I think you probably just get it here. Yeah, you get Ice Beam. Techno... Yeah, I mean... Porygon is versatile. It's strong. It's, not super expensive again. Great coverage. Good abilities and passive. There's so much you can do with this. That's why I have it in S tier, just below Eevee. I think Eevee gives you more. I'm going to get to them, Han. Sentret is not S. Sentret is not S. We actually only have 2 other S tiers. I will say that. Yeah, this is why I have... this. Okay, we're actually going to do... these 3 together. We'll start with Sentret. These 3 are going together because they are all cheap utility normal types, but their utilities are different. So we're going to go into them. Patrat is not pickup. It's a different type of utility. This goes in high B. Sentret is an absolutely outstanding support mon. It can learn so many support moves. It gets pick up as a passive, which is obviously great. But its support moves are like Fake Out, Thunder Wave, Follow Me. It gets really, really good support moves, and it would be a lot higher if you could guarantee double battles in absolutely every single encounter. If you could do that, it would probably be A tier, A plus tier. But because you need lures, Nuzzle, alright. But yeah, because you need lures, you're not going to get as much value out of it. But if you can, this could probably definitely go up to A tier for some people. It can keep your other Pokemon safe very easily, and is very strong against the second phase of Eternatus. But because there is no built-in doubles mode for Pokerogue, that's why it's in B tier right now. But again, Nuzzle's outstanding, Follow Me's outstanding, Fake Out's outstanding, Pickup's really good. All of that, plus like it gets so many more supporting moves. If they add in doubles, this moves up to A tier. It's also cheap. It's great. Yep, Extreme Speed. Yeah, it gets so many good things. It can power itself up. It gets Power Up Punch, and it also gets Tidy Up. Not really why you're going to be using it, but those are options for it. Zigzagoon is another pickup mon. It's going to be at the bottom of A tier. And the reason I like this is a reason I like Zigzagoon more is it works better in singles at the moment. They have very similar movesets. Nuzzle, Extreme Speed. I know, hon. Nuzzle, Extreme Speed, and Covet is another big one. They don't have the same job. The reason I like Zigzagoon more is because it gets high horsepower as an egg move. And the reason that is a huge deal, in my opinion, is because of the Pokemon Breeder. Pokemon Breeder uses your lowest friendship mon to fight against 3 of her Pokemon. The first Pokemon is always going to Terastallize into Steel type. It also has really good coverage. You can use it again so much, including Eternatus if you have to. It gets Belly Drum if you really want to send it that way. But it still provides utility and is a great choice to get you through the breeder. It's not guaranteed, but it has a very, very good chance to do so. And yes, because of a stupid move. Yep. High horsepower is very strong and can be your answer to the breeder. Yep. Yeah, no, the high horsepower makes a huge difference. Hey, Josh. Not going well? They're on hold? That's right, man. That's not his job, though. He's not there to set up and baton pass. I don't think Porygon does either. Should I go ahead and do this? No. I think Zigzagoon is slightly better than Sentret, especially without being able to guarantee it. And high horsepower is why. If you live, sure. At that point, why not just put another carry out in Swords Dance? One Swords Dance on most stronger Pokemon. I mean... Yeah, if you want to try to live with those defensive stats, go for it. Now, I think Zigzagoon is better because of not being able to guarantee double battles all the time, and because he gets high horsepower. If they add in doubles, I think Centric goes above Zigzagoon. Yep, that's why. And then finally, actually, I did have this. Sorry, I had them a little bit differently. I did have them. I did have that in the bottom of A tier, not the top of B tier. Don't worry, Kaskin. Yeah. Don't worry. And then Patrat's the last one. So Patrat's another cheap utility mon, but again, his utility is completely different than the other two. Where exactly do I have Patrat? Pretty sure I had it in B tier. Where did I put it? Oh my gosh. Now I can't find them. Oh, there it is. Turbo of Tauros. There we go. Yo, what's going on, Lev? Alright. So, Patrat is interesting for one reason. And it has to do with like a slightly more advanced mechanic in the game. And that's lore abilities. So the way double battles work in Pokerogue is there is a base chance to have a double battle whenever you encounter wild Pokemon. If you have 2 lures active, you are guaranteed to get a double battle on wild Pokemon encounters that aren't on boss floors. If you have 3 lures active, so normal, super, and max, you're guaranteed to get double battles on boss floors as well. There are 4 abilities in the game that if your Pokemon is in the first slot, they act as a lure. If it's in the second slot, they act as a lure if you're already in a double battle. Patrat is the only Pokemon in the game that gets both of these abilities or gets 2 of those abilities. When it levels up, it has access to Illuminate and No Guard. So if you have both of these abilities and it's your lead Pokemon, you are guaranteed double battles for every single wild Pokemon encounter outside of boss floors. And then you just need one other lure, could be even just a basic lure, and then you're also guaranteed double battles for boss floors as well, if you're not fighting a gym leader. If you're trying to do friendship farming or even shiny farming for Endless, we're not really talking about Endless, the fact that he gets both of those can be absolutely outstanding. You're guaranteed double battles, which increases your friendship gain, which increases your candy gain. You'll get eggs faster, all of that. He does get Fake Out as well, so he can be a great supportive mon with that. Extreme Speed, Dynamic Punch to pair with No Guard. He doesn't put out as much offensive pressure, but a lot of times what you can do is Fake Out one of the double Pokemon, KO with your other Pokemon, whatever one's the strongest one you're trying to farm rares on. Yep. And then you can Swords Dance, and then the turn you Swords Dance, you knock out the other Pokemon with your main Pokemon. And then Fake Out can actually start to one-shot things or Extreme Speed. If it has a spread move, if your other Pokemon has a spread move, it might be able to get it. Checking. Yep, it can get it through TM. Oh my god. Why is that? So yeah, because of the Illuminate No Guard thing, guaranteeing double battles, and then like having the fake out pressure, extreme speed after he sets up a Swords Dance, Patrat can be really strong. In particular, he can support anyone, because again, he can support a single target because he has fake out. You just fake out whatever you're not going to KO the other thing, Swords Dance and KO. He's high B. Because he needs the passive to get this to work. And he needs to evolve. So it gets started a little bit later. If you don't have the passive, but yeah. What's up, Kaskin? Oh, so yeah, he's high B. Like he's fairly high B, but because you need to have the passive, that's why he's there. Yeah, there you go. Finally, yeah. Anyway, those three Pokemon work really well. They all are cheap, normal type utility. They all provide utility in different ways. But at the end of the day, just remember, Zigzagoon is better than Sentret, no matter, like, no questions asked. Just the way it is. There we go. All right. Moving on, since that was a little bit of an lengthy explanation. We got Hoot Hoot. Hoot Hoot. There's an A tier. I'm valuing offense a little more than utility, just as a heads up in Lost Place. I know, hon. So Hoot Hoot has some really cool things going for it, and is one of the better budget carries when you're kind of first starting out the game, in my opinion. Base stats are great at all. Oops. Evolves at level 20, which is pretty good. And then it has reasonable special attack. I have no idea, Han. That's a very good question. Tinted Lens can be really nice. Aerialate for even more damage. Unfazant is not the best normal type. It's better than I thought it was, though. We'll get to it. Its egg moves are ridiculous. Look at this. Setup, speed boosting, Aeroblast, Aerialate Boom Burst. It is so good. It is cheap. I think it's 2. You get any one of those egg moves outside of maybe Calm Mind, it's really good. You don't even need Aerialate, even though it's nice. Costs 2 points. Yeah. He's so good. If you have a Hoot Hoot, use them. If you're like just getting started and you've gotten yourself a Hoot Hoot, because they're pretty common early on, get some candies for him. Try to get some, like an egg move or two. He can be so good, and that's why he's there. That's why he's A for me. And like decently high up in A. Like slightly above average, all things considered. He is really good. Alright. Igglybuff. If somebody knows how to use this cursed piece of crap, let me know. But like, look at this. Let's go all the way to Wigglytuff. A lot of hit points and some special attack, but like, the defenses are pretty low. The speed's atrocious. You get... Oh, look, Cute Charm is incredibly inconsistent. Frisk, you already, like, you're going to know the ability most of the time. or you can make reasonable guesses, and it usually isn't a huge deal. So you have competitive, which is inconsistent, but exactly, that's what I'm saying. It gets pulled in so many different directions. Doesn't know what it wants to do. Like, why would they put those together? And its hit points are high, but it's not that bulky because of how low its defense and special defense are. The egg moves are fine. And like 140 base power extreme speed is good, but it's just pulled in so many different directions. It's not super bulky. It seems like the TMs or the egg moves are trying to take it in. D is kind of F tier. Seems like the egg moves are trying to take it into a physical, but that means like every single ability is just like Y. Maybe you get value out of Cute Charm. Maybe you get value out of Frisk, but 1 or 2 times a run max, and even then, is it that big of a deal? With after it's high D tier. I mean, Togepi's insane. Togekiss is so good. Yeah. Igglybuff is not the worst normal type Pokemon. It's second worst. There's only one Pokemon lower than it, and that's it. And we'll get to it. But anyway, Igglybuff is just, they don't know what they want to do with it. I don't know why they decided to try to make it a physical attacker. Yeah. It's not great. Next up, we have Aipom. And for Aipom, I have Little Guy in C tier. Aipom definitely has some utility and some cool stuff. Yep, it can get pickup, but it can get Technician or Skill Link, and Scrappy's a great ability. These are solid. That's okay. It's fast. It's got a decent attack stat. Like, it's fine. It's good. Its egg moves aren't bad. Like, Rock Blast, Storm Throw, Fake Out, Swords Dance, this can work with either one of them. That can work with Technician. But, like, you're splitting up its egg moves between 2 different sets. Yeah, but you have to choose one of those 3, Han. You don't get them at the same time. If one of those were passive, I think you'd be a lot better. But now you have Technician, Fake Out. He's just getting pulled in too many directions. And, like, you're not going to get to set up Swords Dance with Fake Out in, like, trainer battles. So you get Fake Out Storm Throw with Technician. Maybe get Swords Dance a little bit later, but... Also, this... What is this level up set? This is atrocious. This is like one of the worst level up sets I've seen. Give him Nasty Plot? Like, why? This is so bad. You get some stuff in TM. But if you look through his TMs, Brick Break isn't a multi-hit move. It's too powerful for Technician. Chilling Waters, that. Covet can work. Great, you have Covet. You have Technician Covet. Dig, too strong for Technician. I'm not seeing any multi-hit moves. Facade, too strong. Fire Punch, too strong. Foul Play, too strong. Like, Hidden power, like, nothing in here really works with Technician. No, it doesn't. It got changed back in November. Nasty Plot again? Yeah, you get Technician power-up punch, maybe. That's something, but where's... There's, what, 3 things that work with Technician? There's 1 thing that works with Skill Link? I guess Triple Axle Technician could work? But... yeah, the learn set, the TMs, they just don't cohere into a solid Pokemon. Again, if one of these 3 was its passive, I think it would be better. But it doesn't get a ton. It gets solid coverage, but not a great amount. So, like, Scrappy's still useful for it. If you're using him as a pickup mon, like, we already talked about the other pickup mons you can use. There's just better. Yeah, he's C. Hey, Lev. All right, man. Hopefully you get checked in all nice and easily. So yeah. All right, Girafarig. Girafarig's going here. High A tier. I mean, Unknown's cheap. There's still better ones. $110 base special attack is kind of nice. It does not get Psychic Surge. It gets Parental Bond as a passive, though. Armor Tail and Sap Sipper are both good. It gets Boom Burst, Mystical Power to pair with Parental Bond, Night Daze to pair with Parental Bond, and Recover can be solid. Splitter. Really? Yeah, we get quite a people sometimes. It actually has egg moves that pair well with it. It gets Nasty Plot as level up, so it can set itself up. So you have Nasty Plot, Parental Bond, Farigiraf with potentially these egg moves and a Shed Tail. I don't think he does. Yeah, he does. All right, there you go. Yep. But also, you can also get Mystical Power if you don't have the TM for it. Parental Bond gives you so many options. Again, you have Boom Burst. I cannot say how big it is to have Boom Burst. It is such a good move. And like even Night Daze can be solid coverage. It can lower accuracy. You have 2 chances at it. Even a King's Rock on Parental Bond gets way better. Like, so many things. Ah, Dankeschön. Yeah. I think high A for Girafarig is... It definitely earns it. There's so many cool things. Parental Bond's busted, in case you couldn't tell by Kangaskhan to Duo and Girafarig there. I don't think so. It wasn't intentional. It's not like I was referring to Magical Twerk. But yeah, Girafarig, I think, is really strong. I didn't go into its TMs. It doesn't get a lot of TMs, but it gets really good coverage. It gets Thunderbolt, Psychic, Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam. Does it also get Ice Beam? Oops. It doesn't get Ice Beam, unfortunately, but still, like, it's still really solid. Yeah, exactly. Especially when they're a special attacker that can boost their own special attack. It's really good. Dunsparce. I wavered a ton on Dunsparce. I have it at the top of B tier for now. Dunsparce is weird, though. I still need the rare for it. Solid stats. It's slow, which sucks. But solid enough stats. You get Serene Grace, which could be really nice. I mean, Rattled and Runaway are nothing. Unaware can be huge. If you have something that's boosting with berries, you just don't care. So Serene Grace and Unaware are pretty nice ones to have. They're both solid. Its egg moves give it really good coverage, even better because of Serene Grace. It gets coverage with the Torques, made better by Serene Grace, and then extreme speed. Yep, Unaware is a really good passive. And extreme speed on a normal type with 100 base attack. Super solid, and it also gets... It can get Glare, so you can use like one of the best paralyzing moves in the game, 100% accuracy. You also get Yawn. Hyper Drill is solid, 100 base power. You'll probably want to use extreme speed. Gets a little bit of sustain from Roost, or you can set it up with Coil. You can build him in several different ways, or maybe even like make an amalgamation of them all. Boomburst isn't as big. Like 85 special attack's not bad. But if you're going to be setting him up, Coil is the way to go. Yep, solidly tanky. Good coverage, some good utility if you want it. Can be beefy, sustained, can set up, give you stuff. He can do a lot for you. And he's not that expensive. I think he's 3 points before the drop. And then to evolve him, when do you get that move? You can evolve him at 32. Ugh, I don't like coffee to begin with, let alone cold coffee. Yeah, you can get it at level 32, which isn't too bad. You get him before the 55 rival fight. So, yeah, he gets some options. The egg moves work really well with Serene Grace. Yeah. If you guys haven't tried out Dunsparce, give it a shot. You might need some egg moves, and it might take a little bit to get used to, but he's got good flexibility. All right. Teddy Ursa. Han already knows where Teddy Ursa's going. Teddy Ursa's going here. Yep. Yep, Teddy Ursa's going here. Also, after Teddy Ursa, I'm going to take a quick break because I didn't realize we've been live for an hour already. It gets guts and thick fat. Makes... Oh, also... The fuck is this? Look at these stats. These are ridiculous. Look at these. Yeah, you know that ice weakness you had? No, you don't. This is ridiculous. Ground typing, I think, is one of the best typings in Pokerogue and just in general. And part of that is because of the 200 Eternatus fight. And it's just also good. Look at these stats. Look at Guts Thick Fat. Even a Nerve. A Nerve is really good in Pokerogue as well. I mean, even the 50 speed, you can like either not care because look at the rest of its stats, or just Quick Claw. 1 or 2 Quick Claws, you're going to be going first a reasonable amount. Are you talking about 5 nights in Trick Room, or 5 turns in Trick Room, Kaskin? Again, hon, that goes back to if you could guarantee doubles, which is why I'm not really going to go into it. You have Ground Stab, which is great against Eternatus with your, 140 base attack. Oh, and it gets Precipice Blades. It gets Precipice Blades as an egg move. And Fake Out. You want to threaten it with a grass type? It gets Mountain Gale. This thing, yeah, it gets Mountain Gale for Rayquaza. And like, its TMs aren't great. That's great. Yeah, it gets Slack Off for healing, which you might not even need. Its TMs aren't great. It gets some cool stuff. Like, there's some definitely useful ones in here. Drain Punch, if you want. It's Earthquake, although you already have Headlong Rush and Precipice Blades. But you know what makes these TMs even better? Not even better. They're fine. They're good. You know what makes them better, though? It gets Power Up Punch. Alright, that's solid. Or you just give it Swords Dance. Do you really want a +2 Precipice Blades? Thick Fat Guts boosted Ursaluna anywhere near any of your Pokemon? This thing's S tier. It's not even close. Yeah, Supercell Slam to threaten water types. I don't think so. I actually don't think he gets any I don't think he gets any priority moves. But no. But oh no, he doesn't get priority moves. I refer you back to this. Oh yeah. No, it's insane. Like, this thing is so good. Like, I could see a definite case for putting it above Eevee. Like, they're probably even. Eevee is way more flexible. Ursaluna has a job, but dear lord does it do that job. Dear lord does it do that job. Yeah, no, I think Eevee and Teddiursa Eevee and Teddiursa are definitely better than Porygon. You could quibble over their order, but I think the two of them are definitely above Porygon. It really is. It's just, yeah. There's only one normal type left for us here, just as a heads up. Anyway. Next up, we have Stantler. I don't know where to put Stantler. It has really solid abilities. Let's go into Weird Ear real quick. Decent, solid stats across the board. It can be a mixed attacker. It's not super frail. Can get Intimidate or Sap Sipper. You'll probably go Intimidate. And Speed Boost is always great. Yep, it gets Speed Boost, which is really nice. The egg moves, Thunder's Kick, Photon Geyser, Swords Dance, Boom Burst. It gets pulled in a couple different directions, but like you have this at the beginning, like just these 4 out of the gate, you have a super strong Pokemon. Really, Kaskin? You'll have to tell me why. How does it do for the rest of it, though? We'll get there. We'll get to Maushold. Because I'm sure I'm not using it. We'll get there. Just hold off until we get there. But Intimidate, those egg moves are good. It's got solid stats. It gets Psy-Shield Bash. So kind of like what Tauros was doing, where it can make itself even more physically bulky. It gets that. Again, it can set up with Swords Dance or Nasty Plot. And its TMs allow it to, again, be whatever you need it to be. If you don't want to go Swords Dance, you can go Calm Mind. Earth Power, Earthquake. Like, it's got good coverage no matter what you want to go with. It's pretty solid overall. But I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to put it slightly above Tauros. And that's because of its flexibility in what it can attack with. And also its Psychic typing. Which I think having Psychic typing as a Eternatus can be very helpful. You get the stab Psychic moves. So we're going to put Stantler there. But again, having Intimidate's big. You talking about Stantler, Han? Alright. This one, Han's not gonna like. I don't have a high viewpoint of Smeargle. Because we're not guaranteed doubles. It's incredibly niche. It's right below the stream. It should be the little heart. You'll hover over it. It'll break. You can press it, and then you'll have to hit confirm, Han. Dark Void is great, but at 80% accuracy, the chance of it hitting both Pokemon's only 64%. And then you're also stuck with that. Prankster's good. Salt Cure is also solid, but you kind of really need to be able to use Sketch to make the most out of this. It's broken and endless. It is absolutely nutty and endless. It's probably like top 2 or 3 in endless. But without the consistency, and there's just better utility mons, and in order to sketch consistently, you're going to need double battles, and then it's rough. It's too hard to set up in Classic. It's super niche. I just don't think it's good in Classic. Maybe if you want to like pair it with a Shroomish and sketch Spore, and then have like Spore Salt Cure. We're not ignoring the next one, Han. We're doing them all. Spore Salt Cure to try to help with Eternatus to replace Dark Void, because it gets Prankster as a passive, but it's just, I don't think it's good in Classic. You can use it, but Miltank. Goes in high C tier. I have Miltank here for kind of the same reasons we had Lickitung here. It's bulky. It's somewhat fast. Special defense isn't great, but it's alright. It does get Sap Sipper and Stamina. If you don't want to go Sap Sipper, you can go Thick Fat. It gets a lot of defensive... Oh yeah, no, I'm aware of Whitney PTSD. It gets a lot of defensive options, which is really nice. Again, I don't think defensive mons are as valuable in Pokerogue. It does get Body Press, so you do have Stamina plus Body Press. Which is super good. It's just a little inconsistent, because you have to, you know, survive long enough to make Body Press worth it. Which can be done because it does get Milk Drink for sustain. Bulk Up can work for a little bit of setup. But if you're doing Body Press, you could probably rely on Stamina and then go with, like, Sizzly Slide to make yourself even more physically bulky. Knockoff is just a good coverage move. It gets a lot of coverage in TM. Like, Ice Punch, Iron Head, there was Earthquake in there, Power Up Punch. I can get Rock Slide for double battles if you want. And then also get some stuff in here. Milk Drink is solid, Play Rough, Body Slam. Like, there's good coverage in both of those. It is a little bit... Yo, Goober. It is a little bit of a weird moveset, and it's not offensive enough for me to really rate it higher than C tier. But it's high C tier. It doesn't quite... It's not quite consistent enough for me to put it up into B tier. It's not quite consistent enough for me. I don't think it's that expensive, so if you want to use it, you can definitely give it a shot. Yeah, it's looks like it's 4. I'll get there, Han. You don't have to rush me. I'll get there. Anyway, that's why I have it there. We already talked about Zigzagoon earlier. So we're moving on to Taillow. Taillow I have here. Also, I had these like it is physical Hoot Hoot. Cat, I'll read it when I get there, Cask, and just save it until we get to Mousehold. Igglybuff is D, yes. It is one of the 2D Pokemon. It's being pulled in too many different directions. I'll go over Igglybuff again real quick. It gets competitive and huge power. That's the big thing with it, Goober. Its egg moves are all huge power stuff, which means it pretty much doesn't get an ability. And, oops. Even with huge power, it's 140, which is good, but yeah, it just pulled in too many different directions. Just not doing enough. Anyway, Taillow. Donde está? Okay. There we go. Base stats, 85, but it is fast. And being fast is good because of all the ways you can boost your damage in Pokerogue. Soul Dews, proteins, sharp beaks, silk scarfs. A lot of different ways you can do it. It gets Guts and Aerial 8. Guts is the reason I have it above Hoot Hoot. If I remember right, Hoot Hoot didn't have anything. Yeah, Hoot Hoot had Tinted Lens, which is good, but it's not a strict damage boost. Like Taillow. So, yeah, Guts, Aerial 8 is a huge amount of damage. It does get Facade as an egg move and Boom Burst, which is great early on, even if you're not going special with it. Headlong Rush, even without stab, is going to KO so many things. No retreat in case you want more damage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Swellow is very good. The only thing that hurts it a little bit is the subpar defensive stats. But if you're one-shotting everything, which is pretty possible or realistic in Pokerogue, it doesn't matter. The one thing I will say is I don't believe it does well against Rayquaza. Yeah, I don't think it really has anything for Rayquaza. And even at like Guts boosted Facade Aerial 8, it does make him tankier, but I'm not sure it'd be enough. I'm not sure that's the best use of your turn. I think trying to use this thing to beat Rayquaza without a couple no retreat setups is going to end poorly. But anyway, that's why we have him in high A tier. Really, really good. I could see the case where you could actually do this. But I think Parental Bond is just insane. So I'm gonna have him like this for now. We're probably like a third of the way through. Maybe a little more than that. Yeah, like a third to a half of the way through. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm just gonna stretch my legs, run a couple ads so people don't get pre-rolls. Back in a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out so far today, guys. Alright, thanks for sticking around, guys. I also updated my setup a little bit, so hopefully everything will go a little smoother. Alright. Slakoth is next. I actually have Slakoth right here. The big reason for this is because it doesn't have to take Truant anymore. You can get Stall, and that is big, and it gets Guts as a passive. Even if you go last, you still get access to these stats. And Guts. If you have Stall, this is an A tier Pokemon. If you don't, it's B-. Guts just makes that, was it 160 base attack stat? I'm blind without my glasses. Even more ridiculous, and it makes you immune to other status conditions. Paralyzed, poison, sleep. Don't have to worry about it. Put a Flame Orb on it, you're good to go. I mean... Okay, you're not going to be one-shotting things, but you get some, this. Yeah. He does get Facade. In Egg Moves, he gets Drain Punch so he can sustain himself. His passive is Guts. He gets Guts Facade. He gets Guts Drain Punch. You could even skill swap if you wanted to. Yeah, it's Guts. He's busted. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm moving him up a little bit. He is really good. It's just Facade, Drain Punch, just those two right there. You can get Slack off if you want. It's really, really good. And he's got some stuff in here for, like you get Earthquake, some other really strong stuff. I don't think he gets Swords Dance, though. I don't think he gets a setup move. No, that's the one thing. Yep. You mean like Regigigas Kaskin? Yep. Yeah, if you want to hit ghost types, just run knockoff. Anyway, Slakoth is really good. I don't know, I kind of like Regigigas. Yeah, he does. I don't think he needs it, but anyway, Slakoth is really good if you have the hidden ability. If you don't, he's probably like B-. Whismur. Whismur's below average. There's a couple reasons for that. While I'm usually talking about the final evolution of all these Pokemon, that's just not... That's just not okay. Exploud is a mixed attacker, alright bulk. It gets Scrappy, which is good, and Punk Rock, which I found out lets you take half damage from moves. But it's... Neither of these really help it all that much for that. Like, these are mediocre stats, if not slightly below average, for a final stage evolution. And it's the, like, Punk Rock, the damage is necessary. It's not a benefit. Like, it's necessary for it to even do a reasonable amount of damage. It's not like additional damage on top of an already decent mon. The egg moves are definitely going into that. Like, oh, these are all voice moves. But then, special, special, special. Why the fuck did you give it shift gear? Why did you give him shift gear as a setup move when everything else is special? It's... I guess to get the speed boost, because he's got like somewhat low speed, but he can set himself up with the rare egg move, but he's just too weak early, and I don't think he's good enough later, even with Torch Song. It's, yeah, I just don't think this quite works. I might see a case for moving it up to like here because of Torch Song, but it's not. Well, I mean, because he's cheaper. I mean, I think it costs 2, maybe. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't do enough. And they have better typing, in my opinion. Yeah. We're skipping Azrael. Azrael is not a normal type when it fully evolves. I'm not going to talk about it. Skitty. Worst normal type Pokemon. In Classic. In Classic. In Endless, it can be very, very strong. If double battles were guaranteed in Classic, it could also be very, very strong. As it is now, it's bad. Look at those stats, even at a Delcatty. The abilities are, let's say, shit. You give him Scrappy, but for what offensive pressure? Yeah. Below average stats. Not great abilities. Gets Fake Out and Thunder Wave if you want to support with it. Maybe you could do Normalized Entrainment against Eternatus if you have a Ghost type. That's just a lot of setup. I think it's the worst one. It doesn't even put out the offensive pressure that Igglybuff does, and I think Igglybuff can still do the same support, just better. Yeah. And that's like, yeah, or just use a better supporting mon, because there are plenty of others. Delcatty's great in Endless. Not here. Spinda. We're gonna Spinda to Winda. Spinda goes here. Spinda can get out of hand very quickly. Contrary, simple. With Floor Cannon, Superpower, and V-Create. If you can get going, it gets out of hand ridiculously quickly. The biggest issue, there's 2. 1, a lot of stat lowering moves. I mean, I can just... Yes, he does. A lot of stat lowering moves are 5 power points. That's an issue. The other big thing is he doesn't have any, or Spinda doesn't have any stab moves Like, no normal type moves that also lower stats. Those two are it. But this thing could get out of control incredibly quickly. Yeah. Yeah. No, this thing I could even see going higher than where I have it. The reason I have it here, though, is because you really need the egg moves to... Egg moves and passive. Is it the hidden ability, too? Is it? Yeah. You need egg moves, passive, and hidden ability to really make it work. Or else I think it drops down to, like, C+. Yeah, it's an A with egg moves, though. So we're putting it here. If you haven't tried Spinda yet, but you have those unlocked for it, give it a shot. It's really solid. Zangoose, yeah, because we're not doing Swablu. Zangoose is one of those, I'm not sure where to put it. It's got decent stats, really good abilities in Toxic Boost plus Poison Heal. Because it's, by default, it's hidden ability in the baseline games. So, I mean, Facade, High Horsepower, Extreme Speed as egg moves for Zangoose. Get Swords Dance, too, to set itself up in addition to Toxic Boost. I'm not sure where to put this, but I'm thinking it might be like here. Pokemon's weird at times. Yeah, I think it might go here. This can be incredibly strong, especially with Extreme Speed as well. It gets Facade, has high horsepower for the Rock and Steel types. It also gets Belly Drum. He gets Toxic Boost as a hidden ability, and Toxic Heal as a passive. Or Poison Heal. So you can create a fairly sustaining normal type with Facade that can hit like a truck. Yeah, this guy hits hard. I think he's A tier. If you have these unlocked, give him a shot. You just have to find the Toxic Orb to really get him there. Next up, we have Castform. Castform's not good. These are its stats. Even with adaptability, it's not good. Yeah. It's not good. Forecast changes its typing. So even then, you're not really going to have that many. And the biggest thing, it doesn't set up its own weather. He's great in weather. He's not great. He's usable in weather teams. But the fact that he doesn't have, like, yes, he can use Rain Dance, Sunny Day, and all that. But he doesn't have any weather setting when he enters. And that's an issue. You'll just want to use a different one. Now, he does get Boom Burst and Quiver Dance, which can be great. Like, Quiver Dance is super strong setup. Boom Burst is really good. It's just, I don't think they're good enough to really save them. Especially if you don't have the passive. I think in most situations, there's just going to be other things you want to use. I think that's just the way it's going to be. There's going to be other things you want to use instead of a Castform. Alright. Kecleon. Where did I have Kecleon? You're gonna put him here. Yeah, yep, I'll get into it. So one of Kecleon's bigger issues, this 40 speed. Special defense is really high, attack is decent, defense is alright, HP is a little below average. Yeah. The speed is what gets it. You can get Protean and adaptability, and if you know how to use them, you can abuse the AI insane. Like, you can absolutely abuse the AI's behavior with Protean and adaptability, in addition to just putting out huge amounts of damage. Its level up moves aren't great. Shadow Sneak, Ancient Power, which is special. Shadow Claw, maybe? Sucker Punch, Foul Play could be nice. But it doesn't get a ton of coverage. The egg moves are a little bit better. It gets Coil. And multi-attack, Zippy Zap, and Extreme Speed. Like, these are solid egg moves. These are solid egg moves, for sure. It can't set up its own speed, so it has to rely on Extreme Speed if it wants to set up. It doesn't even get Sword Stance, so it can't set up that fast. And I don't think it can do enough damage that the priority moves are going to make a difference. I think he's low B tier because of Protean and adaptability. I think that's enough to put him there. I don't think I'd put him any higher. Yeah, I don't think I'd put him any higher. That's why he's there. Time for Starly. The Pokemon everyone used in Gen 4. It was an A tier. Solid attack, solid speed. Even the bulk isn't awful for a normal flying type. Just about everyone. Intimidate is really good. If you don't want to use Intimidate, you can go Reckless Rockhead for bonkers damage and no recoil. You can even go Intimidate Rockhead. So you don't have to worry about recoil stuff. You know, like from Brave Bird. Rockhead lets you use Brave Bird just because. You also have Head Charge, Flare Blitz, and Extreme Speed, and Sword Stance by Egg Move. Yeah, they like pairing Rockhead with Reckless. So you could have like a Sword Stance, Extreme Speed, Brave Bird, and then Head Charge or Flare Blitz Mon. Go for it, Han. Hey, Lev. Yeah, Lev, I have it in bottom of A tier. Boop. There it is. Can I? Oh, it doesn't change. Okay. I mean, Intimidate, fighting coverage, more consistent, doesn't recoil. Wait, does Talonflame get Rockhead? I honestly kind of like Starly more than Talonflame. I find Talonflame just be a little too squishy for me, especially without Intimidate. And Gale Wings is like a little inconsistent if you get any chip damage at all. Magikarp? Okay, I mean, Magikarp's solid. I think Intimidate is really good. I think it also gets U-turn? Maybe not. Yeah, it gets U-turn if you want it, so you can U-turn Intimidate. Well, we'll worry about it when we get to flying and fire types. I'm going to, Lev. Yep. I'm going to do this with every type for Classic. I'm also planning on doing a series of YouTube shorts for endless early game carries. Out of curiosity. That's also an issue. No, I'm not going to keep him there, but we all know that's where he belongs. We all know it. Unironically, though, all right, you're right. Unironically, high B tier. First and foremost, it is hilarious to use. You get yourself a blue Bidoof, and you just make sonic noises the entire time. Oh no, give me the shiny. There we go. You just make sonic noises the entire time. It's great. Egg moves are busted. Extreme speed, power trip. I don't really use Aqua Step that much. No, Han, you're not allowed to say anything. Never. Simple, busted, Sap Sipper, busted. You give it Sword Stance, Extreme Speed, Power Trip, and Aqua Jet. It is hilarious to use. It can also learn Yawn. And Yawn is really, really good. Power Trip plus Simple is also super good. It gets Cosmic Power. Yeah, you could definitely make a set where you do like Cosmic Power, Yawn, Power Trip, and then maybe something else, but yeah, Aqua Step or something, but no, Bidoof is actually good. I have had him sweep Elite Fours and the rival fight at 195 on his own. He's such a beautiful baby. Yeah. Bidoof is unironically quite good. And not just for the memes. Alright. The passive is Sap Sipper. Genesect, nice, Josh. It's in B tier. It's not F. The stats aren't bad. It's actually got decent defense and special defense. Its speed's not bad. Its abilities suck. Like, the abilities are horrendous. Yep, I'll get into the Mega. Like, the abilities suck. Adaptability is really good. If you look at the Mega, that's a lot better. It gets, is that 60 points? 50 points of, yeah, it gets 60 points of attack. Also, the egg moves, triple axle, best move in Classic. Extreme speed stab, thunderous kick, because Mega is also a fighting type. So you get stab on thunderous kick if you want it. And then sword stance to set itself up. Like, you could make sword stance, triple axle, extreme speed, thunderous kick. That's a good set. And then you do it on, like, this thing, which also gets scrappy. It's low B without Mega. But with Mega, it becomes A pretty easily. It's just too inconsistent for me to put it higher than this. But yeah, don't sleep on this. It also gets Drain Punch through TM. Glameow. I have it here. Low A or high B? For Bidoof. Not great stats, but the 112 speed is pretty good. Which is really nice. The abilities are also solid. You can build it in different ways. Defiant is inconsistent, but could definitely be useful. Gets Intimidate as a passive. So like Thick Fat plus Intimidate could give you really nice bulk. What's kind of funny about this, though, you can build your own Incineroar. It has Intimidate, it can get Fake Out, it gets Parting Shot, it can get Knockoff, it gets U-Turn, it can get Stab Body Slam. If doubles is in the game, this thing could just literally be a normal type Incineroar. It gets almost everything Incineroar does, outside of, like, Flare Blitz. But it can set up with Sword Stance, too, if you want it. So you have Intimidate, Thick Fat to make it pretty bulky. Sword Stance, if all you wanted to do, like once you're in there and fairly bulky just through your abilities and passives to set up. And then you have Stab, Extreme Speed, Horsepower to cover for Rock and Steel types. And then if you need to get out, you can just Parting Shot or U-Turn. It also gets Knockoff, Body Slam. It's actually pretty good. Build your own Incineroar. I'm actually going to put it above... no. Just because Wyrdeer has Psychic typing. Yeah, but if it was doubles, I think this would have more value. Alrighty. Happiny. Happany's at the lower part of E tier. Also, I'm switching these two. Nope, Happany's not bad. $255. If you brush up against it, though, Blissey's going to fall over faster than a male soccer player on the pitch when somebody grazes them. Like, Blissey will flop way harder than a soccer player will. And that's saying something. However, it does get some cool stuff. It gets Fur Coat as a passive. Half the damage from physical moves. Serene Grace could definitely work, especially because you get Sizzly Slide. So you have a higher chance to burn, reducing the opponent's attack even more. So you have Fur Coat plus a burn. You can get Cotton Guard. It also gets access to Revival Blessing. You have Soft Boil just by level up. You can set up screens if you want. It does get Toxic as well. And then some just other support moves. Thunderwave, Thunderbolt, stuff like that. With its support, I think it can stick around for a little bit. The biggest issue with it is, what does it do when it sticks around? That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Great. Even if you shore up its defense, even if you shore up everything else, it's got 75 special attack. What are you going to do? And if one physical move crits you, even with all your setup, so what? It is, and I don't think that's as valuable in Pokerogue. That's why I have it down here in B tier. I think they really tried, and it might be able to do something, but there are better options. I shouldn't have to worry about Magikarp tackling me and KOing my Blissey. I'm not saying it would, but I wouldn't say it never would. Oh yeah, I love Drain Punching it. It's a healing pinata. Alright, chat it. Chatico's here. Chatico's there for a couple reasons. Decent special attack, R8 speed, okay hit points. However, you get Keen Eye or Big Packs, Punk Rock helps, and it gets Torch Song. It gets Torch Song, Boom Burst, Baton Pass. That's pretty much it. It doesn't have a ton of coverage. Sparkling Aria is nice. If you have something with Water Absorb, it can actually heal it, because Sparkling Aria is a complete spread move. This is better than I think people think it is. It definitely can have some use. You can definitely set up with it, and then you can pass it into something else as long as it survives. There's not much to say about it. I think it's just better Exploud. Yeah. That's really all there is. I need more shinies for it. Munchlax. Right, exactly. Munchlax is here. It's really good. I'm actually going to do this. The reason it's here is because it's a little annoying to evolve. That's like the big reason it's there. Needs high friendship. Which, like, those aren't bad stats for sticking around. You'd probably stick around for a while with that. Once you get Snorlax, Immunity, or Thick Fat, or you can even go Gluttony Cheek Pouch. Like, you can go a couple different ways with Snorlax. Like, Snorlax is just strong. I mean, look at this. Who cares if it's slow? The egg moves, not bad. Nope. Stuffed cheeks, if you really want to go into gluttony cheek pouch. It gets extreme speed as an egg move to pair with its 110 attack. Grab apple is good coverage. Yeah. Yep. And it can lower the target's defense stat. Plus it lets you hit the rock types that resist you. It gets high horsepower for the steel types. And it's got other great stuff in here. Like way more coverage as well. It's super solid. You can do a lot with it, and it has G-Max form. Belly drum E-Speed, yep. Yeah, imagine if you belly drum with the defensive set. With like gluttony cheek pouch. And then you can just G-Max into this guy. Who gets Harvest and Ripen. Hey, double Citrus Berry, double Ganlon Berry, double Lychee Berry, double Landsat Berry is insane. No, not at all. Snorlax is really good. His biggest issue is just getting him to evolve. That's why he's high A tier. And like, honestly, I could see this, if you don't mind the evolution. I think Munchlax could go anywhere within here. I'm going to put him here just because you need the hidden ability on Slakoth. Actually, I think that's more of a detriment than this. How would I be biased about Regigigas? I forgot he costed 8. Alright, I'll knock him down a little bit for that. Put him at the top of A tier. I had him higher up, but I forgot he cost 8. He's only here if you have the hidden ability of Normalize. Absolutely bonkers stats. Absolutely bonkers. Get Scrappy and Normalize, so you need both of these to really make them work. But, like, Normalize Gigaton Hammer, he gets Recover, Extreme Speed, and if you want to be able to hit something, you can skill swap. Well, then just, like, skill swap, and then I'm sure he gets a ground type move somewhere. I mean, Body Press would work. Yeah. Brick Break, Bulldoze, like, he's got options if you run Skill Link, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. You run Skill Swap. If you're, like, super worried about it, but he might have enough damage to just punch through it anyway. Yeah. No, he's definitely got options. In fact, he costs 8 and kind of needs his hidden ability at least. Plus his passive. Moves him down, but I still think he's high A tier. If you get him, I think you could probably use him as a carry for a while, even if you have to use Slow Start. Yeah, I think he's pretty solid. I need more shinies for him. Actually, I need to reduce his cost. Anyway. No, Arceus is not A. I'm going to ignore that, Han. Arceus is B. And the reason Arceus is B is because it costs 9. Its stats are really good across the board, but it's not, like, excelling at anything. It's a very good jack of all trades, but doesn't excel at a single thing. It's got, again, well-rounded stats. Its ability, like multi-type, needs a plate. You don't really have an ability till you find a plate. You have adaptability. Multi-attack is kind of the same thing, where you kind of need a plate. You do get adaptability before then. Collision Course, Astral Barrage is worthless the first 20 floors. Collision Course is good, but only 5 power points. You get Hyper Voice at level 30, which is insane with adaptability and can definitely help. And you get Extreme Speed a little bit later on. And it gets really good TM coverage. But at the end of the day, it costs 9, doesn't excel in anything, and you kind of need to find a plate if you're not going to stick with normal type. That's why he's high A. I could definitely see you moving him up, or high B. I could definitely see you moving him to A, but the 9 cost really hurts. And when I used him quite a bit when I was farming out a shiny for him. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth the 9 cost. I know. We already talked about Patrat. Lillipup is next. Lillipup goes here. I don't think Lillipup's S tier. It has really good coverage, decent attack, and average everything else. It just doesn't excel. Yep, sorry, Han. Actually, no, I'm not. It can stick around for a while against physical attackers. Fur Coat, Intimidate, huge. Sandraj is super niche. Scrappy can be helpful, but I don't think it needs it because of the type coverage it gets. But it can definitely stick around. Last Respects can be very strong, and then it gets high horsepower for Rock and Steel types. Body Slam. Body Slam's a good physical move. It just feels like it's a little lackluster compared to some of the power of other egg moves that are out there. I don't know what else I would give it, but Body Slam just doesn't quite seem to be on the same tier as some other stuff. It gets the Elemental Fang moves. It also gets Play Rough. But it also can't set itself up, if I remember right. Yeah. It's good out of the box. It just doesn't have much scaling potential. And that's the big thing. If you find a Lillipup, you'll probably be doing alright. Yeah, all Fang moves on level 1. Actually, that's only for Stoutland. So you have to evolve it to get it. Lillipup doesn't get it. And you have to use a mushroom to get them. Okay, it's not like they're learned when you evolve. Yeah, it gives you coverage. It gives you a solid mon. Intimidate's good. Outside of that, now. That's why I have it in B tier. Intimidate, coverage, about above average stats, I would say. Alrighty. Next up, we got Pidove. I'm putting it here. Looking into this thing, it was better than I thought it was going to be. Decent attack. Alright speed. The rest of everything's average to slightly below average. The super luck plus sniper means 100% crit rate, which is absolutely insane. It doesn't get a lot of great flying physical moves. It gets Floaty Fall as an egg move, and then you need to find Brave Bird in a TM. Outside of that, it's like, okay, Air Cutter as a special move. Air Slash, and Sky Attack. To pair with 65 base special attack. Not great at all. Has Tidy Up if it wants to set up and help with its speed. Yeah. And, like, what else do you notice in here? There's only flying type moves. Like, there's not even tackle. It doesn't even get tackle. Yeah, he can always crit. Slash is a normal type stab, finally. And then Triple Arrows is really good. But you go through it again. Echoed Voice. Facade Fly. Heat Wave, a special move, but that's like the only non-normal or flying type move. Hidden Power, maybe, but again, it's special. Hurricane is special. Pluck is another flying move. Where's the coverage? Secret Power? Maybe? Steel Wing. Steel Wing and U-turn. There is no coverage in this thing. None at all. Even in TMs. And that's why I think it's not higher than this. I think it caps out here. The 100% crit is really nice and definitely boosts its damage. But you're going to need more speed to really take advantage of it consistently. That's it. Terra Blast is physical. It's whichever one is higher, Kaskin. Yeah. Yep. Which, fine, can be alright, but then you have to find a Terra Shard for it and have it terastallized. It's, yeah. Or I guess you don't have to have it terastallized, but yeah, it's... There's just not enough coverage on it, there's not enough speed, and there's not enough damage boost outside of the 100% crit. If you have Floaty Fall, it's a lot better. If you don't have it, don't know it. I don't know, man. Asking the wrong person. Anyway. Audino. Audino's weird. Where did I put it? I put it here. That'd be fun to do. Audino is... Oops. Audino's not much to look at. It's got decent hit points, decent defense. It's Regenerator or Healer, and then Friend Guard. Again, would be better in doubles. It gets Machigachi to help with its sustain as well. Also gets Moonblast. And also gets Wish. So you could Wish, swap out, get Regenerator healing, and then a Wish heal on whatever you bring in. It just doesn't do much in its base form. When it megas, however, it gains the fairy typing. It gets a lot bulkier. It gains 20 special attack, which is something. It keeps Regenerator, but gets Fairy Aura. So it gets Stab from its Moonblast Fairy move and Fairy Aura. It can put on more pressure after that. I still don't think it's great, but it's definitely a lot beefier. And then if you have like Machigacha and then like maybe Take Heart to make it even beefier than that, yeah. I think it's okay. It'd be better in doubles with Friend Guard, but I still think it's definitely usable. So that's why I have it in like the lower part of B tier. Okay, Hisuian Zorua. Let me find it on here. Where is it? There it is. Hisuian Zorua, I have in the bottom of A tier. Yeah, I can't believe they took Regenera away from it, but... First of all, it doesn't have an ability, and that needs to be fixed. Its ability doesn't work. Give it a filler ability. Put it there. Adaptability is great. It's outstanding. It's got high special attack, decent attack, and like pretty good speed. But please give it another ability just so it has something. Let me... Give me a second real quick. There it is. It's got those. No ability kind of sucks. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Something like Tough Claws. Although I'm not sure how that would work with like the super high special attack. Egg moves? Really good, actually. Moonblast, Secret Sword, and then Blood Moon. It gets a Blood Moon. This is absolutely an insane egg move to have. 140 base power with stab, with like an already decently high special attack stat. Yeah. And to add on to that, it gets nasty plot just by leveling up. And they can also get Bitter Malice as a stab. If it doesn't use Shadow Ball. Yeah, Shadow Ball and Bitter Malice. And then it has some options in here as well. Burning Jealousy, Calm Mind if you don't want to use Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, Flamethrower. Like, there's good stuff in here for coverage as well. You gotta find the TMs for them, but there's good coverage in there. I do not think he can learn Night Days. No. But, like, he still gets other stuff, other solid coverage moves through TM. So, yeah, that's why I have him at the bottom of A tier. He's only cost 4. Or 3. Yeah, he only costs 3. He's not even that expensive. But he's solid. Alright, Minccino. There we go. It's... Well, let me pull it up real quick. It's got some cool stuff. I just don't think it's enough. Yeah. Where was I? I was up here somewhere. There we go. I like calling the shiny version of this Cinnamon Chino. Okay, it's got that little bit of red hue. It can get Technician or Skill Link. And then Fur Coat's great. It's a good defensive thing. Because defense isn't great to start with, but it doesn't really build into the Skill Link or Technician stuff. The stats are okay. You can get, if you're going for either Technician or Skill Link, you can get Tail Slap at level 32 before you evolve. I mean, it gets Technician as that. It can get Technician or Skill Link. Well, yes, but that's not what he has. Fur Coat is good. The Egg moves more work with Skill Link than anything. It gets Icicle Spear and Pop Bomb. Knockoff is like, why? I don't know why Knockoff is there. What do you mean 20 times? It can hit 10 times. Yeah, that's 10 times. Anyway, it just doesn't quite do enough of anything to really make me want to use it. That's the biggest thing. With Grip Claws, yeah. For a while, Skill Link stuff with Grip Claws was the way to go in Endless. You just grab like Magician with Grip Claws and then Skill Link and do Population Bombs. But that's why we have Minccino in C tier. I just don't think it does enough. Then we have Deerling. Deerling goes here. Deerling goes here for a couple reasons. One reason is it gets Leech Seed, which is really, really good. Leech Seed is really good. Unfortunately, grass typing is also not good in Pokerogue in a lot of the major fights, in my opinion. The rival has Rayquaza starting at 145. They always have a flying type Pokemon. And there's a 1 out of 3 chance for their starter to be a fire type. That's just for the rival fights. Eternatus has 2 moves that hits grass type super effectively. I just think grass types get screwed a little bit without Terra. I didn't say that. I said grass types in general struggle a little bit. Its stats are fine. It's got okay bulk, okay attack, okay speed. These are not great. There are better grass type chlorophyll users to use. You're already resisting the grass type. Serene Grace, maybe? And like, Serene Grace is by far its best one. There's other exceptions, but allied grass type Pokemon are protected from status conditions and the lowering of their stats. It is not a powerful passive at all. Its egg moves are fine. Tidy Up again. Headbutt. Again, that's one of those egg moves that feels a little weak. Yeah. Combat Torque is good coverage, I guess. Flower Trick could also be really good. It gets Swords Dance as well if you want to try to make that work. And then he also gets Horn Leech, which is kind of a cool sustain move. It's just the stats don't really let him do what he wants. You can use them if you find a Deerling during your run and you need Leech Seed. But I just don't feel like he get... Like, his stats don't let his typing do what it wants to a lot of the time. It's a little too easy to remove before it can get set up and going and stuff like that. I have it in low B just because of Leech Seed. Yeah, it's not great. Bouffalant. Hi, Bouffalant. Here. Bouffalant's interesting. You can do a couple different things with it. You can either go pretty bulky or recoil spam. First of all, stats are pretty solid. That's a pretty beefy mod. 95 HP defense and special defense. Good attack. Low speed, but alright. The abilities, it can get Reckless and Rockhead. Also get Sap Sipper if you want. So you could definitely go with like recoil spam. It gets high jump kick, head smash, flare blitz, kind of what you'd expect, and then also slack off if you want to go more bulky. I kind of wish it was a Tauros evolution, but it's fine. Yeah, you can go recoil spam or bulky. It also gets sword stance. I mean, extreme speed would be sick, but you can get sword stance. You get some other cool coverage too, but yeah, no E-speed. Yeah, slack off is nice. Again, it's just kind of another one of those recoil spammers, if you want to use it that way. And there's a couple of them. They seem to really like that genre. Yeah, he gets, I got one of them. Why do I have, hold up. I guess head charge. So. It gets sword stance by level up too, which is really nice. Yeah, but again, he's solid. You can make him work. Actually, yeah. He's a little more consistent than Fearow because of his bulk. Rufflet. We're only going to be talking about the original. We're only going to be talking about Braviary, not Hisuian Braviary. Just to put that out there. We'll talk about Hisuian Braviary when we get to psychic types. And flying types, too. I have him here. Oops. Good attack, decent HP. The defense stats are a little low and speed's a little awkward. One reason it's down here too is it doesn't evolve until level 54. And that's very awkward and late. That's like pseudo-legendary evolution time. Does get speed boost, also massive, helps shore up the speed. And it can get sheer force. This thing can do a lot of damage. Defiance low too inconsistent, but sheer force solid. The egg moves are also good, except for... Why Aura Sphere? Why? Bolt Beak's kind of nutty though. No retreat if you want to set up. Floaty Fall, very, very good special attacking. Or very, very good flying type move. I don't understand the Aura Sphere. Like, at all. That's It's literally in my notes, or Sphere Y. Its level up set is kind of meh. It gets Brave Bird, Sky Attack. Doesn't get a lot of great stuff at all. And then, oops. TM moves, it gets some stuff to pair with Sheer Force. You can give it Body Slam if you want, Close Combat. There's some stuff in here that you can pair with Sheer Force. Iron Head would be really good. Yeah, Rock Slide if you want to run that too. It doesn't have a great setup move, but Speed Boost and Sheer Force helps its damage. So, again, it's not bad, but I have it in middle to lower end of B tier. Give it a shot. The late evolution hurts. Meloetta. Meloetta goes to the top of A tier. Good offensive stats. And the fact that it switches as well. Yes. Abilities, it gets Serene Grace and Scrappy. And then Serene Grace and Punk Rock. So the passive actually changes depending on the form, and they both help them out quite a bit. It has flexibility. It's got good abilities and stuff. Yep, they have different passives. During the last patch, Han. Egg moves, it gets Torch Song. So you have Torch Song, Psychic Noise, Triple Arrows, and like Relic Song. Because Relic Song is a spread move, but you don't get it to level 50. But that's how you switch forms. Yeah, this is... It sets itself up. It can be a mixed attacker that gets stab on everything, and it's always using its best attack stat just about. The speed's not, like, insane. It's a lot better in this form, so if you want to stick in here and go physical attacker, you can. But it's super strong, and then you have the Psychic type against Eternatus. Nature's a problem, but even then, if you really wanted to, you could give it, like, a defensive nature. Or even, like, a minus speed nature if you find Quick Claws, or you're okay with having a little less speed. Remember, you're not going to be able to switch to level 50 either, so you can just pick whatever form you want to do to start out with, and then use a nature for that, and stay in that form most of the time, and only switch when you need to or want to. Yeah, there's a lot you could do with this Pokemon, but it's at the top of A tier for me. I don't think it's quite on the same level as them, and part of that's because it costs 7, but it's still really good. Bunnelby! Bunnelby's okay. Where exactly did I have it? Bunnelby does get huge power, which helps it out. Where is it? I know about where I had it. There it is. Bunnelby goes between these two. Bunnelby is saved by 2 things. One, it gets huge power as a hidden ability. Thick Fat helps its grass weakness. Doesn't really care about fire, but it's still like a nice defensive layer to have. You can try to go bulky Bunnelby, but I don't think its base bulk is good enough. Even with huge power, it only has 112 base attack. And also, it's really weak before it evolves. Really weak before it evolves. The egg moves are solid though. Drain Punch to heal yourself. Laird's Wrath is really good, and it gets extreme speed to pair with huge power. It can set itself up with Tidy Up if you want. That'd be cool, but I'm not gonna fish for it. That's a lot of time I could be spent hunting other stuff. And this is kind of like Poor Man's Ursaluna. It doesn't have the same attack, even with huge power, but it does get ground typing, which can be very useful. And that's kind of what saves it here. Laird's Wrath is also a spread move, and it can sustain itself with Drain Punch. I don't think it gets Sword Stance. It does get Sword Stance, so you can do that as well. So yeah, Sword Stance, huge power plus extreme speed. You could really get some damage out of this if you can set it up. It's B tier. It's solid. It's super weak early, and you kind of need egg moves. But if you can get them, give it a shot. It's also pretty cheap, if I remember right. Yeah, it costs 3. Hold up. I'm going to rename it. Okay. Oh, okay, that's cool. We're not doing Fletchling because it's not a normal type when it fully evolves. We're doing Litleo. Litleo goes here. So, decent attack, good speed, or decent special attack, good speed. But what really puts it up here, it gets Beast Boost. It also gets Moxie for some reason. So if you wanted to go physical, you definitely could. Its attack's a little low, but you can pair them together. But Unnerve is really good in Pokerogue. Unnerve Beast Boost could go absolutely crazy. It gets Nasty Plot, Earth Power. Oh, Ismail physical? Not quite. Yeah. Nasty Plot's huge. Earth Power is huge. Blue Flare is super strong. You just need some wide lenses. But with all of that and Beast Boost, you could start scaling really quickly. And then it also gets Hyper Voice. Yeah, I've had something in my throat all day. I can't quite clear it out. It gets Hyper Voice, which is a really good stab spread normal type move to really stack up the Beast Boost quickly. I think this thing could be really good because it has decent speed and decent special attack. It also gets like Flamethrower as well. But like Nasty Plot, Earth Power, Flamethrower, Hyper Voice, I think that could be a potent mon. Before we move on, I'm going to take another quick break, stretch my legs a little bit, and then we'll be back. I think the next one's Furfrou. Yeah, next one's Furfrou. Yeah, I'll be back in a couple minutes. Just going to stretch my legs, check on Free Girl. Thanks for hanging out so far today, guys. All right, thanks for sticking around, guys. Let's get back to it. What do we have? Furfrau? Furfrau goes... Where's my mouse? Furfrau goes here. It doesn't do anything. It's physically bulky. But like... Its stats are average to below average. Fur coat and fluffy, it's physically bulky. It gets, like... It just doesn't do anything. Yeah, I did. Yep. Arceus is low because it doesn't excel at anything. It kind of needs a plate, and it costs 9. I don't know about C tier, but... This just doesn't do anything. If you want something that's physically bulky, you can get other stuff. I do need more shiny variants for it, though. Anyway, it's not good. Helioptile. Yeah, I'm sure I do. Helioptile goes up here. Helioptile is very similar to Pyroar in a lot of ways, actually. Or Litleo. Good speed. Actually, it's good special defense. Good special attack. Dry Skin's hit or miss. Solar Power can be really strong if you have a Sun team. Sandvale, if you have a Sand team, it could be helpful. Protean is huge if you know how to use it, and you can use it. Weather Ball is pretty niche. Hydro Steam is super strong, though. It's great to have. Like, 80 power, 15 power point, 100% accurate move out of the gate if you have Protean. Earth power, just solid coverage. Boom Burst. With something that high defense and gets, or that high special attack and gets normal type stab on it, it's super strong. It gets all of the strong not all, but most of the strong electric type moves you want. It gets Thunderbolt, it gets Parabolic Charge if you want to sustain and offset solar power. It's got a lot of really good stuff in it. Yeah, see. Even has Volt Switch if you want to use that somehow. And then one thing I forgot to check. Although I might have checked it, and this might be why I have it below Litleo. Yeah, it doesn't get a setup move. It needs solar power to kind of boost its damage. But it's just a solid mon that'll last you for a while. Protean can get you even farther. I think it's a very solid mon, and I like having it above some of the other ones there. Piggy Peck. I don't think so. Nope. No Nasty Plot, no Calm Mind, no Tail Glow. Piggy Peck. Yeah. Piggy Peck goes here. Yep, the high attack is really nice. The 60 speed is not. That's the big thing. Like the 60 speed, Skill Link or Sheer Force, you have your options, and you can actually get Skill Link Technician, which is really cool. And its egg moves also team up into that. You get Dual Wing Beat, Bone Rush, and then Population Bomb. It's got some really cool stuff. It doesn't have a built-in speed boost. Maybe if instead of like Dual Wing Beat, it got Esper Wing. That could be something. But you need Swords Dance. I think you have to get through TM. And you kind of really want wide lenses. 90 accuracy, 90 accuracy, 90 accuracy. Yeah. 100 on Bullet Seed, but you kind of want, like, you really want Technician and Skill Link and the egg moves to really pull it all together, and then wide lens, and then a way to boost its speed. It's usable, and if it works, I bet it would work really well. Yeah. He needs items, he needs egg moves. Might need TMs for Swords Dance. Just not enough. Next up, we have Yungoos. Yungoos goes like here. Yungoos is not good. I'm gonna have to use it because I want the third shiny for it. But its attack is good, and that is it. Its abilities are fine. Tough Claw's adaptability is fine. It gets extreme speed. I don't care about, like, knockoff. He hits hard-ish, but then you're like 60 defense, 60 special defense, low speed. You want extreme speed, and like you have it, but that's it. he's kind of a one-trick pony, and it's not even like a super powerful trick. It's just strong-ish. And like other Pokemon do his job better. Like a lot of other Pokemon do his job better. I thought you said bottom C. Streamers lie. Life isn't fair. Yeah, the egg moves are very mediocre. Like, extreme speed's good. But other than that, the other ones are like, okay. And he gets the elemental thing and punch moves, but it's just meh. He doesn't do anything. Stuffle. Bottom B tier. Good hit points, good attack, decent defense, okay, special defense, little low speed. Its abilities are good. It gets Fluffy, which is double-edged sword. Can either be good or not. Unnerve is really good. Scrappy's fine, lets you hit ghost types. Yeah. It does get Triple Axle, best move in the game. Some coverage and way to boost its own damage with Meteor Mash. Rage Fist if it can stick around. But yeah, the combination definitely hurts him. I don't think Rage Fist is... I don't think he's bulky enough, especially with his typing, to really take advantage of Rage Fist as well as it should be taken care of. Drain Punch is cool. I like moves that heal you and do damage. After all, why not get yourself a move that does both? I just don't think he's good enough at anything to move up higher than low B. That's why I have him here. Oranguru. There we go. We have him down here. This is one where if doubles were a thing that like you could just opt into, Oranguru would be great. He would be really good. He gets so many. He gets Telepathy, Power Spot, Jungle Healing, Yawn, Follow Me, Lumina Crash, Instruct. Yeah, exactly. He can be really, really good in doubles. Outside of that, he doesn't do anything great. 90 special attack is fine. Good HP. Decent special defense. It just doesn't do anything in Pokerogue until doubles come in. And that's kind of what it is. Yawn can be good. Follow Me in double. Yeah, it's just... He'll move up quite a bit once doubles arrive. I assume they're working on it. That's all I really have to say about Oranguru. Type Null. Who's here? One benefit of Type Null. It only costs 4 or 5. Like, it got a pretty reasonable cost. Those stats out of the gate, pretty good. Like, those are solid stats outside of its speed right away. Battle armor, so it can't be crit. Clear body, it's consistent. Oops. Its speed just becomes 95. RKS system, though, it's basically whatever Arceus ability is. And then it gets adaptability as well. So you get huge stab. These egg moves are so good. Dire Claw, Combat Torque, and Recover. Really good early on. No Retreat's a good setup move as well. And this thing just gets bonkers amount of coverage. Like, right there. Thunder Fang, Ice Fang, Fire Fang, Iron Head. Gets Aerial Ace, Poison Fang. There's way more in here. Yeah, yep. For as little as it costs, it is one of the best bangs for your buck, I think. Hold on, that's my sister. My sister's messed up. So anyway, I think Type Null is very, very solid for how much it costs. Komala! I have this thing. Yeah, yep, I'm, okay. I have Komala. Here. So Komala's got a couple really cool things going for it. One, it's actually got good attack and special defense. Like, it's reasonable there. But like 115 attack is higher than you might expect. It has Comatose and Guts. Guts is automatically triggered. You don't have to do anything else. It's just automatically triggered, which is outstanding. You don't have to worry about hurting yourself every turn with Burn. And Comatose protects you from other status moves. It's really cool. Slack off to heal itself. It gets extreme speed, and later on it can get collision course as well. A strong stab move. You can give it Swords Dance. So you get Swords Dance extreme speed. It does not get Facade, I believe. It does. It gets Facade through TM. Biggest thing about that, though, is like your speed's a little low at 65. You can definitely use it. You'll also have access to extreme speed, hopefully. You can get Sword Stance, so you can go Sword Stance Facade, Sword Stance Extreme Speed with all that. Also gets Wood Hammer and Sucker Punch for like coverage and priority moves. Komala is pretty solid overall. That's why I have him high B tier. You really want to make sure you have the passive, which is one reason he's not A tier probably. But yeah, he can definitely output a ton of damage. Next up, Drampa. This is another special attacker with decent special attack and speed. This time for Dragon instead of Fire and Lightning. Electric. I guess his speed's not that. He has special defense instead of speed, sorry. But 135 special attack. He's Vikavolt. But normal Dragon. Ability, Berserk, Sap Sipper, and then Thick Fat. Sap Sipper plus Thick Fat makes you even bulkier. The only thing with these, so Thick Fat helps with the ice types, but you are already resisting ground and fire, so those resistances and immunities aren't as important. You're not getting as much valuable. They're still really nice, though. The egg moves, though, are absolutely busted. And that's one reason I have it so high. Slack up. Did they change it? Hold up. No, okay. Boom Burst. Spread. No, it doesn't. But it really is. It's Vikavolt in normal dragon form. Boom Burst, great. Core Enforcer, spread, great. Slack Off, good. Trick Room be better in doubles. Those egg moves carry him to where he is in B tier. But they are really, really good in Slack Off, is it? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Cool, we're already waiting for variants. Anyway, that's why he's there. Squavit! Squavit goes here. I don't think I need to say much about Squavit. It's your somewhat bulky, normal type with berry synergy. It's much crappier Snorlax. Cheek Pouch, Harvest, Sucker Punch, like, even these aren't great. Population Bomb's cool, but, like, those are kind of run-of-the-mill. Slack Off's cool. But, well, yeah, but we're not grading the special encounter. It's just, even its level up set is meg. It's Body Slam, the stockpile stuff. It's very run-of-the-mill. That's it. There's not much to say about it, I think. Double! I want to like this guy. Got alright stats. It gets Fluffy or Steadfast. Fluffy's probably better. And then Scrappy, but like, why Scrappy? Egg moves, Nuzzle, Milk Drink. Body Press is cool. Multi-attack, so what? This thing's like a bulkier Disruptor that can get Body Press. It used to get Size Shield Bash as an egg move, which would have been really cool. Also, Fluffy doesn't increase your defense. So it doesn't pair, like, it doesn't synergize with Body Press. You can get, like, Cotton Guard, but it's level up set, it's TMs, they aren't enough to make it better than just another physically bulky normal type that doesn't do anything else, really. Body Press is kind of like its big, like, ooh, I'm different, look at me. It's not great. Indeedee is interesting. We're going to put Indeedee near the bottom. We're going to put it here. I guess that's middle. Yo, True, what's going on? It's just in general in Classic Pixel. Yeah, I went over that. I said it was a little too niche and a lot of setup, and you have other answers to Eternatus at that point. If you could guarantee double battles, Skitty would go up quite a bit, but because there's no way to guarantee double battles outside of lures and certain abilities at the moment, it's staying down there. I did mention it's great in Endless, though, and then I did mention the normalize entrainment thing potentially for Major Boss, like for Eternatus and stuff like that, but yeah, I think that's just too niche for it to move up. Yeah, that's a little too niche for me to move it up anymore. And there are other answers you can do that don't require as much shenanigans. What did I just put up? Oh, Indeedee. We are looking at Indeedee. Yeah, it's insane and endless because of that role it has. Stats are like that. If you go with the different gender, they change slightly. There's Indeedee. Oh, that's not what I wanted to hit. One of the cool things about this is it does get Psychic Surge as hidden ability, which is one of the few ways you can grab that, especially as like not a passive. I think so. I think Female Indeedee has some stuff. But I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Skitty too. I think it's mostly in doubles. And because there is no straight up doubles mode right now, it doesn't go as high up the list. It gets, actually, I'm going to move it up where I have it. Because it does get Psychic Surge and then, I'm going to put it above the Intimidate setters. And that. It gets Psychic Surge Expanding Force. I think it can also work in Psyspan with Iron Crown when it was around. Yeah, it does get Psychic Surge and Expanding Force, which is really good. Moonblast is solid. Machigacha is solid. It can do stuff. It only gets Calm Mind as a setup. But once Doubles comes into play, I think this is going to be absolutely insane. Just because of the synergy it has with like VGC stuff. You could probably make it work pretty well. As I said, it has decent special attack, decent enough speed, but you can boost it through Pokerogue stuff. It's great. Not great. It's solid. You definitely make it work for that. So, high B, like mid to high B tier. Alright, Lechonk. Goes into mess with the other bulky normal types. Goes slightly higher. One reason for that is Fillet Away is a really cool move. Yep. And then Psychic Terrain protects it from like Sucker Punch and stuff. Fillet Away is cool. It's a pretty neat thing. I've used it before. I have gotten some use out of this. And then you can also make like a physically bulky one. The combination of Psy Shield Bash and then Blazing Torque putting burns on things potentially can make you fairly bulky. Again, the high hit points, decent attack, and then the defense and special defense are all pretty good. It just doesn't do enough to make me want to put it into B tier. I feel like the other things have more defined uses, and Lechonk and Oinkologne have other things that do their jobs just as well or better. It just kind of falls into the pile, again, of bulky-ish normal types that have some utility. But it doesn't stand out for me enough. Yeah, it gets Covet, which is kind of cool for some events early on. It also has that before it evolves. The evolution is pretty quick, so you don't have to worry about that, but until then, you're looking at this. Run something else. If you find it in the wild, you can take it. It gets some ground moves that can be helpful-ish for a little bit. But you'll probably find yourself replacing it pretty quickly. Yeah, again, it just falls into the pile of mediocre normal types. Alright, Kaskin, now's your time to shine, man. Tell me why. What am I missing with Tandemaus? I know Pop Bomb's insane. I know Scrappy's good. Those stats aren't impressive for me. Technician as a hidden... Like, Technician Scrappy's good. Okay. Yeah, I figure you'd have... I figure you'd have that. How much of this did I have in my Tandemaus stuff? How's it get Sizzly Slide? Okay, so it's a little item dependent. So it's a little item dependent in the fact that you need to give it Carbos and King's Rock. And probably a wide lens for Pop Bomb. Because I had it in B tier. So with enough setup. If I hit the character limit, fair enough. Oops, not that. I'll put it there just because it does need some item setup. You get a little lucky with stuff. Like you say, you need carbos, ideally a wide lens, and like a King's Rock to really pop off. If you don't get those, you're dealing with this. You might be able to pop bob through stuff. I'll put it here. I do value consistency somewhat, so the fact that you need the items to make that a little more consistent is why I have it that low. Well, we only have one more S tier. Yeah, item dependent is a big one. We don't have that many left. Yeah, we only have 5 more Pokemon left. Or 6 more. Smoliv. You've already seen the tier list, Han. I put it in my Discord a little while ago. I'm putting Smoliv here. I think Smoliv is really good. Wait. Oh, we already did some of the ones. Okay. $125 base special attack, 109 base special defense, really good. Even its defense at 90 is not bad. Its HP is solid, so it's like fairly bulky. It's a grass type, which we've talked about before. Excuse me. The Seed Sower ability is really cool. I actually really like this. Harvest and Ripen, like I'm not a huge fan of this, but you could probably make use out of it with how bulky Arboliva is. Strength Sap could be a really cool move. Earth Power is good. Just coverage and a solid move overall. Can help against Eternatus. Calm Mind to set up, and it gets Boom Burst, which is stab, because it's grass normal. It also gets Dazzling Gleam and Leech Seed, both of which are helpful. Like, Dazzling Gleam's just good spread and fairy type. And then Leech Seed for Eternatus, which is kind of what you'll use it for. If it manages to stick around, maybe you can hit it with Earth Power. Just be careful with this against Eternatus, because Seed Sower will heal Eternatus, I believe, as well. But no, I think the high special defense, high special attack, and then it putting Grassy Train down, you could combo off of that. But it also just boosts your grass-type moves, including like Energy Ball. Terrain Pulse can also work. I think this is pretty good. Maybe actually not better than these. I'm going to put it like this. Just because these, I think, have better egg moves. But I still think Smoliv and Arboliva is really strong. Alright, we have a couple more left. Squawkabilly. I think I'm going to put Squawkabilly here, but I might change that in a second. Yeah, Leech Seed is huge. Squawkabilly, decent speed, decent attack. The rest of it's kind of meh. The abilities, though, it can get Intimidate or Guts, and it gets Moxie. Intimidate and Moxie are huge, or if you want to go Hyper Offense, just go Guts Moxie, and you can just start scaling yourself. Squawkabilly can do a lot. It is a little frail, and you kind of want a way to boost its speed a little bit. It's still good. It's egg moves as well. You can combo Parting Shot with Intimidate if that's what you're going for. It gets Earthquake to pair with Moxie. Flare Blitz as well. And it gets Extreme Speed, which it gets Stab on. And if you go Guts, it does get Facade through level up. So you can do Guts Facade with Moxie. Really cool. It's got options. It's pretty solid. The biggest thing is its physical coverage in TMs aren't great. You get Foul Play, and I think that's about it. Yeah. Thief if you want. But yeah, you could really do some cool stuff with Squawkabilly. But that's why he's like solidly B tier. It's just you can go Intimidate or Guts, and both sets could probably work. Shroodle. Shroodle's going down here. So Shroodle has good speed and decent attack. Well, its evolution does. 110 speed, 95 attack. Pretty solid. Its abilities are a little weird. Poison Touch can be cool. Corrosion also. It's just all of these are really niche. I don't know how Unburden works in Pokerogue. If it works where you consume one berry, your speed goes up, that makes it better. Speed was already one of its best stats, though, so it's not as valuable, I think, as it could be on other mons. Yeah. You can do a lot with Prankster. It gets Gaster Acid, Parting Shot, Toxic, even Sketch. But you could definitely turn it into a support one. So I think Parting Shot Prankster is probably the best, just because a lot of things later on are going to have Lumberries for Toxic. It does get Swords Dance through TM, but it doesn't get any great normal physical moves. So it makes it tough to combo with. Yeah, again, in doubles, it could definitely be better because of the Parting Shot stuff. But for now, I'm putting it near the bottom of B tier. Also because until it levels up, its attack and speed aren't bad. It's probably usable. It's kind of eh. Cyclizar. I'm going to put Cyclizar here. So Cyclizar's got some neat abilities. Its stats are good offensively. You can go either way, and its speed is really good. Its defenses aren't as nice as I would like. But Shed Skin's cool. Regenerator is really cool. And it gets Protean, which can definitely mess with AIs. Regenerator pairs well with its signature move, Shed Tail. It and Earthworm were the only two in Scarlet and Violet that got it through level up. So Shed Tail, you sacrifice half your hit points and create a substitute for a Pokemon you switch in. So Regenerator gets you a third of your health back. Parting Shot, Fire Lash, Magical Torque, like it's got good coverage. Glaive Rush being Stab really helps. But it doesn't get Swords Dance or Nasty Plot. It can get Iron Head and Thunderbolt for even more coverage, depending on what you want to pair it with and if you're going into the Protean. But without a setup, I'm not as high on this. I think it'd be really good for the first maybe even 100 floors, but after that, I think it starts getting a little out of hand. If it was in doubles, you would definitely do more with this. But for now, I'm putting it mid to lower part of B tier. If it had a setup move, it'd be a lot higher. Terapagos. Goes in A tier. Terrapagos goes like up here. It's expensive, and it used to be so much better. It used to be so much better. It used to have Soul Heart as an ability. It was so good. It's still really, really good. Like, let's not get it wrong. It's expensive. I think it costs 9. It's still really good, because you're going to have this most of the time. Bulky, good special attack. If you Terrastallize, you then get this. You can abuse Terra Shell in this, because Terra Shell activates when you're at full health. If you have, like, leftovers in Shell Belt, you can just constantly get Terra Shell. So you can just use this over and over and just have things constantly hitting you for not very effective damage. Shield Dust is fine. I miss Soul Heart. Soul Heart was absolutely busted. But even in this form, the stats are great. They're really well spread. You don't care so much about the attack. The special attack's high enough. The defensive stats are good. Speed's not as big of a deal. The egg moves make it even better. Moonblast, Nasty Plot, Astral Barrage, and it gets Recover. You could probably just run this. You could probably just run these 4 moves and be great. Astral Barrage is weak for the first 20 floors or so. And then if you find Shell Bells and stuff, you could probably replace Recover with other coverage. But it's still super solid. And then it has good coverage through here. Aura Sphere, Bug Buzz. You can get Calm Mind if you want. And if you don't want Nasty Plot. Dazzling Gleam's insane. Like, the coverage in here, as I'm just scrolling through, you guys can see, is insane. Gets Ice Beam. Arguably the best special move in the game. In terms of Pokerogue. It's just super solid. That's why it is high A tier. The reason it's not higher in A tier is it still costs 9. And last one. We are literally saving the best for last. Blood Moon Ursaluna goes here. Our last S tier. First of all, doesn't the Epic Shiny look sick? Look at the Epic Shiny of that. And it's so cool. 135 base special attack. Good defense. Good HP. Not great special defense. Lowest speed. Doesn't matter. You get this out of the bag. Out of the box. With Ursaluna, like normal Ursaluna, you have to level it up. You can just start with this thing. And I think it's 6, which for this is ridiculous. Such a cool one. Mind's Eye. They can't evade you, and you can't be, like, your accuracy can't go down. And you can hit, you basically have Scrappy too. It's like Keen Eye plus Scrappy. Berserk, in case you need a special attack boost. It's egg moves. Nasty Plot, just a common egg move, in case you wanted something to augment your 135 attack. Sandsear Storm, in case you wanted a spread ground move. Boom Burst, you know. In case you wanted a spread stab with your 135 base special attack. Yeah, pretty much. As long as, like, you find a couple Quick Claws, you're good. Yeah, the egg moves are great. Rock Polish is niche, probably usable. And then we can just go into level up moves. Oh, you can get Moonlight if you don't have Recovery yet. Earth Power, you know, single target. Moonblast for coverage against Rayquaza. Blood Moon. It's busted. It is so good. Another thing this has over normal Ursaluna, you don't have to worry about Intimidate. Like, what's going to lower your special attack? Is something going to snarl at you? You don't have to worry about intimidate encounter after encounter in some biomes. Which is good because its TMs aren't great for special. You get Calm Mind if you don't want to use Nasty Plot. You want a little more special bulk. But it's special moves are not great through TM. It gets Sword Stance in case you want to do physical Ursaluna. Vacuum Wave, I guess, if you want to use a spread special fighting move, but it's by, like, I wouldn't say by far, but I think it is the best normal type in the game, outside of our Lord and Savior Bidoof. That's everything. That's the tier list. Yeah, that is the tier list. I'm pretty happy with it. Fighting. I'm just gonna go straight down the list. I'll do fighting next. I might try to do these every Monday. Maybe more often, but like... I'll show it. I have... I have 25 pages of notes. Plus, like, I have another, like, tier list I did on my own. That way I could reference it as I did this. It was actually, like, a decent amount of work that went into this. So if I'm going to do that for every tier list, it might take, like, I don't know if I could do it twice a week. But, like... take, like, 4 months to go through these. Yeah, no, that's why I posted it in my Discord to get advice on it before I posted it. You know what? How are these all looking? Like, that's by far the... I might be able to do 2... Oh, jeez. I might be able to do 2 a week. I'd have to pick out a day for it, though. Maybe Monday and Wednesday? Because I also want to edit this, or just re-record it completely to upload it to YouTube. Because, like, this would be a close to 4-hour-long video, and I don't want that. Yeah. If I can... Yeah. I might re-record this so it's a little more manageable. 70 times 30 is 2100. That's 1. That's not even okay. That's not even an hour long. Yeah, okay. I can keep this under an hour when I re-record it. I might do it. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll probably be actually playing Pokerogue. I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet in Pokerogue, but we'll be back, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks for hanging out today, guys. If you have any other questions or suggestions... Yeah, no, I'm hopping off anyway. Come join the Discord. We talk about stuff there, and I'll be posting more stuff in there. So thanks for hanging out today, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you everyone tomorrow. Take care.